The Santa Ana's, although this was.
Those folks online, we're waiting for another member to show up. But it's okay. We're online, sir.
Thank you, everybody. We're going to go right into the hearing here, but first let's do roll call so we document who all is here for the hearing. So starting with Tim, if you could say your name on the phone.
Tim Eastridge here.
John Grudenis present.
Fred Cuthbertson present.
Linda Fredericks here.
Torrin Nielsen present.
All right, we have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and I'm going to read from the script here. And we'd like to welcome everybody that's here. Here's the order of the proceeding tonight. There will be an applicant's presentation, a staff report, public testimony in favor of the application, public testimony in opposition to the application, neutral testimony of the application, planning commission deliberations, and a final decision. For those testifying this evening, please keep your comments to 3 minutes, or in this case, we'll be reasonable. There's no specific time limit to any testimony, however. This evening, no specific time limit to any testimony, however. Please attempt to keep your comments brief and directed to the criteria which the decision is made. Okay, person testifying. If you request a continuance to address additional documents or evidence, submit in favor of the application. If the request is made, please identify the new documents or evidence during your testimony. Persons testifying may also request that the record remain open 7 additional days to submit additional written evidence. Request to keep the record open should include included in your testimony. Okay, so the public hearing is now open. Do any commissioners wish to declare any conflicts of interest?
Negative.
The applicant's a customer of mine and I'm a customer of his. I don't know if that's an important.
Customer in which way?
He's a postal customer and I buy firewood from him.
I would say in terms of the property under consideration, this would not be a conflict.
All right, I just want to make sure we
Thank you, sir.
were clear.
I drove past there.
Tim has driven past your place.
If we considered that, I think Commissioner Eastridge would have to disqualify himself for everyone in this town. He keeps a good eye on everything.
Okay, do any commissioners wish to declare any ex parte contacts? Does anybody in the public wish to rebut these disclosures if conflicts of interest or ex parte contacts? I don't, since there are none, no. Okay, land use decisions such as the case under consideration this evening are evaluated against applicable criteria from the municipal code and comprehensive plan. The applicable criteria for this case are found in the staff report, which is available in the handout by the door, which is what we have here.
And there's one handout at the door.
And there's also one at the door. Okay. This is a good time to remind those testifying that you should direct your testimony towards the applicable criteria of the case or other criteria of the municipal code or comprehensive plan which you believe applicable for the decision. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by the statements of evidence are sufficient to afford the city or other parties the opportunity to respond to the issue precludes the appeals to the state land use board based on that issue. The failure of the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues related to proposed conditions of approval with sufficient detail to allow the local government to respond 2 issues precludes any action for damages in circuit court. We will now hear your application. If you don't mind uh, stating your name and
Name's Jody Kahn, and I'm the applicant for the 415 First Street lot. And I'm just looking to put a manufactured home in there on a conditional use because it's a zone commercial. And it was part of an old vacated street that the city vacated 55 years ago. So we just made a new lot out of it. And the home will not be attached to the property, so if it ever needs to be commercially developed, the home will come off of there real quick. That's pretty much the gist of it there.
it's pretty simple. Okay. You have any documents or anything like that, or is that gonna be part of your staff report?
The next would be staff report.
Okay. Do the commissioners have any questions of the applicant?
I do see,
We talked about it quite a bit.
did you guys already discuss the rerouting of the sewer?
That'll be in the staff report.
Oh, okay, that's also there.
And that has been done.
Oh, has it
Yeah.
already? Okay.
Okay,
I do have a question though.
what's that?
To build a fence on that north side of that lot, is that drainage ditch? And you guys require a 20-foot set, is it a 20-foot setback, or can you build with a fence that can be removed on that?
I believe the setback, I'll have to check. When I do the decision letter, that gives you the authorization to proceed.
Right,
I will double check that for you.
okay. I didn't know if you
I
could,
believe it is structural setback, not fencing setback.
okay, because wasn't very clear to me anyway on that.
Right.
On your-
The setback for sloughs is 20 feet ditches, and as a result, but that is setback for residential structures and that type of thing.
Okay,
That is how I interpret it, but I will
well,
double
that's
check.
how I was looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do any commissioners have any additional questions? We will now hear the staff report.
So you've heard that what we're after is a conditional use permit. I evaluated the conditional use against our applicable criteria. It is a commercial zone. It was a street at one time, as we're aware, that was vacated. One half that was adjacent to existing residential area was kept residential, and that was the purpose of splitting the street, was because of the setbacks in that area and the street itself basically were in other folks's residential areas. It was not well laid out many years ago. So this rectified it. The applicant, Mr. Khan, also came to me for a lot line adjustment, which was approved and drawn up and has been submitted to the county surveyor for recording. So it's been being properly recorded by the county surveyor. The other part of it that was requested at the time was this city sewer, which also had damage to it as we went through this process, needed to be rerouted because it went directly underneath the proposed, went under the old street is what it did. It was perfectly okay, except that if you want to use that lot now for the residents on it, you would have to move it. So it was K&D Engineering moved it so that in fact it now is not under the structure and attaches appropriately to the city sewer. So that has been done and accomplished with the proper cutouts as requested. The reason why I have a conditional use is because it is commercial. However, this zoning is more recent than the historical use of that area, which has been historically residential. It was one time it's been in with Cons, Eldridge has been on there. This property goes way back as residential property. So it's historic use, even though it is in the Riverside District overlay and is zoned, currently zoned commercial, has been residential. It does fit within the state land use goals of affordable housing. And making that commercial at some point would necessitate really both properties moving in that direction, not just this smaller lot. So from that viewpoint and looking at our comprehensive plan to produce affordable housing and housing availability, along with state land use goals, along with the actual use and character of the property and surrounding properties, this seems to be appropriate. And all the other conditions for sewer, et cetera, have been satisfied to the city's to the city's criteria. So the recommendation for this group is to recommend approval, conditional use for residential purposes.
Thank you, Steve. Are there any questions of staff at this time?
What would be any negative that could possibly be raised to approving this?
The negative for this would be probably some past use of this property as a pathway. We do not have a lot of paths coming from Oak Street down to Fur and then to the school. So kids in the area have historically used 4th Street to cut across this property. However, having said that, what was put in place before was a non-ADA compliant culvert crossing. So if we were to officially recognize that as a pathway, then there would have to be a lot of work and effort. We are, however, identified the 3rd Street crossing as probably the better choice, maybe with the easement that is behind some of the homes right now as an alternative to that. But that's a city, that's a planning discussion and perhaps other grants and things down the road. That would be the one that I could consider. If it's commercial use would actually raise more issues than residential use. If we were to turn it, we did consider that at one time for to put a processing for a food cart business. But you would have noise, you would have early hours, you would have, emissions and that type of thing. This is really in character with the neighborhood.
Very good. Is there any move to any public comment in favor of the applicant? All right. Does anyone oppose this application and wish to speak about it? Is there any neutral testimony? All right. Is there any questions of Jody at all?
Nope.
No. I think we've talked to you to death.
Yeah, we brought this up already.
You sure you don't want to have this go another meeting?
Yeah,
We
it
could do
wouldn't
that.
Okay.
Your timeline for that?
Within this year, I hope.
Yeah.
Or soon.
Okay, I don't, is there a request for a continuance? I don't.
No.
Okay. You don't have a request to open and have the record open for additional 7 days? Okay. So does the applicant waive a 7-day period to submit additional arguments? Okay. All right.
That's a long script.
It is a very long script. Okay. Now we need to deliberate. Actually, we need to close the public hearing at this time. We could deliberate. John, do you have any opinions?
No, I think we've spent a lot of time with this. We've asked many questions. So at this point, it seems pretty clear cut.
Hey, Tim, do you have any questions or comments?
No, what I read, I thought I agree with. I think everything's good.
Okay.
I think the only thing that I'm concerned about, I still interested in, and I don't think it's necessary to have it delineated in this meeting, but we have discussed, and you mentioned the fence concept, but I was also kind of concerned about the fence just around both of those residences. If there was any way to have some way of kind of creating a privacy away from, I think 99, it would probably be in their best interest, and then also in the city's best interest to have that more private, but
I have plans for that.
That-
99.
have that whole
Just
fence. Okay,
Haven't got to that part of it yet, but it's coming.
cool.
So in the approval part of this,
Mhm.
so once you're done approving this, I have to write a decision letter. And in that decision letter has the criteria, the basic criteria, but it can also include any criteria that the commission wishes to include. So that's also always part of these decision processes is including conditions that you wish to have for the actual conditional use.
Yeah.
If any.
I see your point. I also see, I don't see any privacy fences on anybody on 99.
Well, yeah,
Fences on 99, so it'd be.
I look at it from the point of view of, the spirit of the Riverside overlay is to try to be interested in putting that's the entrance to the city, in the sense that they're starting to enter this sort of commercial area, and to have that right there on the doorstep of the, welcome to Monroe. And then I think it might send mixed signals if there's really, if it's too obviously a residence with. So that's the only thought that I had, was that it seemed like it would be more in the spirit of that if it was kind of the residential part of it was a little bit more concealed in a way. So as opposed to, some residences can be more.
Anybody else have a deliberation? Do we have a motion?
The recommended motion is on page 5 of your staff report.
John, you gonna make a
I
motion?
can read that. I moved it up the findings outlined in the staff report and approve the conditional use as requested by the applicant.
A second.
Okay, let's go ahead and put it to a vote. And if you could just, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Right?
Are there any opposed? Okay. We have an approval.
Thank you very much, folks. I do appreciate you coming back a second time. You have a quorum, and the next step will be a decision letter to Mr. Khan. Try to get those out in the first week or so after the decision so that he can proceed with whatever he needs to do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead and then, I'm sorry, you go. I'm skipping the thing here. You need to end the meeting.
Oh. And this ends the hearing for the for
Land use
project.
hearing. There
Land
we
use
go.
hearing, sorry.
Thank you, Commission Chair.